Hey friends, Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. Today we're test driving the 2015 RAM ProMaster City, compact cargo van. And you know something, there's not a lot of these on the market. Ford started this in the United States with their Transit Connect a few years ago. Nissan joined the fray last year with their NV200, and Chevrolet now sells their own version of that very same van. So it's actually kind of a competitive market, and all of these vans, while very similar, have a lot of differences too. So if you've got a small business or a large fleet that you're buying for, it's important to really take a look at all of them to see which one's best for you. So let's get started. The RAM ProMaster City, like its competitors, was born outside the United States, having been sold as the Fiat Doblo in world markets. It's assembled in Bursa, Turkey, and imported to North America as both a cargo van like we have here and a passenger wagon. Its styling is definitely European. You can tell it wasn't designed in Michigan, where the Ram pickups are. The RAM ProMaster City does come with the longest wheelbase and length of its competition though, and has standard sliding doors on both sides. Note that ours is optioned with side door windows. Metal panels are standard. Also, we have full wheel covers, which is an upgrade, and ours has the roof cargo management package too. At the rear, dual opening doors can open to 90 degrees and each can lock into position so the wind can't grab them and slam them shut. You can also pull the locks and open the doors to a full 180 degrees to make it easier for larger payload. The ProMaster City has the tallest door opening in its class at 49 inches and has an inside roof height of 51.8 inches, which is 2 inches more than the Ford Transit Connect but slightly less than a Nissan NV200. Its cargo floor height is 21.5 inches off the ground. One design feature that really got my attention, it's the doors. As you can see here, this cut line is actually offset to the side. It's not in the center. That actually has a few benefits. The first one is this. When you pull this door open, you've got a wider opening, so there's going to be a lot of times where you don't actually have to open both of the doors to get smaller things in and out. The other thing is this, when you do open the smaller door, because it's narrower, it has a benefit. If you're curbside in a crowded area, say there's a car parked right here, this is going to give you a wider space to get around that door. Pretty neat. The other major benefit to that offset door opening is when you look in your rearview mirror when you're driving down the road, you can actually see what's in the lane behind you because that post is offset to the side. It gives you a clear view. The interior is basic. After all, this isn't a luxury sedan. The dash is an expansive black plastic with a design that's pure purpose and durability. Surprising though, the fit and finish is quite good and you get the sense it'll last. There's a rubberized indentation on top of the dash for all your goodies and a large cubby in the passenger side for more. Above the windshield there's a large parcel shelf where you can keep all kinds of things too, and it has a lip and netting to keep that stuff in there. The other thing I really like about this interior is the seating position. You feel like you're sitting down in a car or even maybe a crossover vehicle, a compact one. You're not perched up high over the dash like you are in some cargo vans, even the NV200 from Nissan. Here, no, it feels more natural, like the car you might otherwise drive during the course of your day. And I think that's really going to play well for the people that actually have to live here all day long. Because it's narrow, there isn't a center console storage area between the front seats, but there is an armrest and a space below with cup holders and 12-volt power ports. The cup holders are a bit low and not ideally located, however. Our tester was optioned with the backup camera group and Uconnect 5-inch touchscreen audio navigation system. I highly recommend either or both, as the backup camera is a godsend here, and having nav and satellite radio really does make for a happier and emotionally well-adjusted driver. Trust me. You know, overall, this interior is very livable because, you know, that's got to be the most important thing, really, isn't it? I mean, if you're going to spend all day, every day behind the wheel of this thing, you want it to be comfortable. These seats, that they are. The cloth has a nice pattern to it. They don't make you sweat. And they've just got the right firmness and the right softness balance that I think that nobody's going to have a hard time sitting here all day long. The cargo area is plain wrapper here, though it comes with a rugged plastic liner on the floor to keep wear and tear of the cargo from rubbing through to metal. It's also somewhat grippy to keep you and your stuff from slipping around. Standard under the hood is the American-made 2.4-liter Tiger Shark 4-cylinder engine with 178 horsepower and 174 pound-feet of torque. It drives the front wheels through Fiat Chrysler's 9-speed automatic transmission.
Now this 2.4-liter engine, the Tiger Shark, where did they come up with these names? I really do think there's a better name out there for this engine than Tiger Shark. Just sounds funny to me. That aside, it actually puts down a pretty good amount of power to the ground, and while I haven't driven this thing fully loaded, it definitely has some scoot around town when this thing's empty, so I don't think many people are going to have trouble with lack of horsepower here. It's smooth enough, it doesn't make too much noise. The only area where I really have to sort of wonder about this particular powertrain is this automatic transmission. This comes with the same 9-speed transmission that's available in the Jeep Cherokee and the Chrysler 200. All of those vehicles I've driven this transmission in, it tends to clunk into gear sometimes. It can be a little bit abrupt when you're starting and taking off, and sometimes it doesn't quite shift the way you'd expect. It's doing the same thing here. Not a terrible thing, you do eventually get used to it.
It's rated by the EPA at 21 mpg city and 29 mpg highway with a 24 mpg combined rating, which is near the top of its class. In Europe, the van's available with a collection of turbo diesel engines that might be a nice option here for the States for those that really want ultra fuel economy. The ProMaster City has a unibody structure with pretty mundane specs when it comes to chassis. After all, it's a cargo van. There's McPherson struts out front with a twist beam rear axle with coil springs at the rear. It makes do with front disc and rear drum brakes. I was, however, pleasantly surprised with its road manners and overall quality feel when it came to driving dynamics. It's not top-heavy and doesn't seem like a sailboat in crosswinds, and it's easy to maneuver with the tightest turning circle of its peers at 32 feet curb to curb. When it comes to payload, it also tops the class. It can haul 1,883 pounds, which dwarfs the long-wheelbase Ford Transit Connect at 1,270 pounds and the Nissan NV200 at 1,450. Its cargo area tops the others at 131.7 cubic feet, and it can also tow 2,000 pounds.
Rounding it up for the RAM ProMaster City, I really do think it's competitive, particularly with the Ford Transit Connect. That's not to say the Nissan isn't any good, it's just that that vehicle is priced a little bit less, has a much smaller motor and less power. Here we've got the similar size motor to the Ford. This has got a 2.4. The Ford comes standard with a 2.5, but it is optional with a 1.6 turbo for better fuel economy. But you know something, here I achieved 26.5 combined for the week. It only promised 24, so whenever a vehicle overachieves in that category, it makes me a happy guy. Now when it comes to the metrics on the interior measurements, when we score it, it did pretty well. I'm not scoring this against a BMW X5. No, I'm sort of scoring these things against their competition. So even though that interior is pretty basic, it didn't rattle very much and it was very comfortable to live in. So it did pretty well on the scoring. Now the only area of concern is that 9-speed transmission. Now I've driven the same transmission in a Chrysler and a Jeep. It behaves the same way in all cases, which means it clunks a little bit and it hunts around and it can be a little bit abrupt and shifting. So that's just part of the territory with this particular drivetrain. But overall, we still got 4 stars for the week. Not bad. I'm Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. I hope you enjoyed the ride.